Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into one of the absolute toughest challenges families face, peer bullying. Specifically, we're going to look at why the most common, well-intentioned parenting advice out there often completely misses the mark. We're breaking down the science and the strategies to give you a clear, practical roadmap to truly support your child. So picture this scenario for a second. Your kid comes home, obviously upset, and tells you the same group of students keeps making hurtful comments at lunch. Naturally, you want to help, so you say, hey, just ignore them. They're just looking for attention, they'll get bored. But the next day, the comments keep coming. A week goes by, and now your child refuses to step foot in the cafeteria altogether. You're probably feeling totally confused, right? I mean, you gave calm advice, you didn't tell them to start a fight, so why did absolutely nothing improve? Okay, let's dive into this. We'll be walking through the ignore it trap, why ignoring backfires, some common parent mistakes, a quick 4-question test, the safe action plan, and finally, a concrete 72-hour response plan.
Number 1. The ignore it trap. Here's the thing. There is a massive, absolutely crucial distinction between ignoring a passing comment and ignoring a relentless pattern. Refusing to argue or ignoring a single rude joke, that can actually be a really smart way to de-escalate a moment and get out without a fight. That's what we call a calm exit. But if the same kid or group keeps targeting your child day after day, that is a repeated pattern. And staying permanently silent when facing a repeated pattern of harm, that is just not a solution.
Number 2. Why ignoring can backfire.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why just turning a blind eye doesn't work. First off, when we say just ignore it, what the child actually hears is, you have to handle this all by yourself. Secondly, they start believing that showing any fear or anger or shame is somehow a failure on their part. Asking a kid to look perfectly calm while they're being hurt adds this incredibly heavy emotional burden. Third, the bullying behavior itself is usually still being rewarded. Think about it, social exclusion or nasty rumors. They don't actually need a visible reaction from the victim to give the bully status or control. And finally, just waiting around allows the pattern to grow and spread, kind of like a weed, until the child starts avoiding school spaces entirely. So we really need to reframe this whole idea. A calm exit is an active safety step. Saying something like, not funny, and walking toward a safe adult is a great tool for that exact moment. But simply walking away doesn't magically stop social exclusion or digital threats. It requires adults to follow through. A calm exit is absolutely not a promise that the child must stay silent about it afterward.
Number 3. Common parent mistakes.
It is so easy to fall into these well-meaning traps, right? For instance, we often instinctively say, well, they do it because you react. But honestly, this places the entire burden on the child who's already being targeted. A much better approach is simply saying, your feelings did not cause this. Second, please don't wait for perfect, undeniable proof like a bruise or a viral video. You've got to report early safety concerns to the school. Third, try not to confuse calm behavior with silence. We need to teach kids that reporting something dangerous isn't tattling, it's getting help when someone is being hurt. And finally, we have to stop praising kids for hiding their pain. Emotional hiding shouldn't be the goal. Instead, we want to create a genuinely safe space for their real messy feelings. I also really want to highlight one very specific, totally modern mistake: how we handle online bullying. Our gut reaction might be to just ignore it or delete the apps, but don't delete that evidence. You literally need to save screenshots, note the dates, and record the usernames before you ever use those blocking tools. And please, please do not make taking away your child's phone your very first response. To a kid, that just feels like a punishment for speaking up, and it completely cuts them off from their supportive friends. We need to focus on making the device safer, not removing their entire social world.
Number 4. The 4-question test.
So the crucial point is this: before you ever give the advice to just ignore it, run through this super simple 4-question test. 1. Can the child actually leave safely? 2. Is this just a one-off act or is it a repeated pattern? 3. Is there a power gap? Like, is it a whole group against one kid or an older kid targeting a younger one? And 4. Which adult is going to check what happens next? If your kid can't leave safely, if the pattern keeps repeating, if there's an obvious power gap, or if no adult is going to follow up, then ignoring it is completely unsafe, period.
Number 5. The safe action plan.
Okay, so what do we do instead? We use the safe action plan. I absolutely love this acronym because it's so clear and memorable, literally perfect for sticking on the fridge. S stands for step away when safe. Remember, the goal isn't proving how brave they are, it's just reducing risk. A means ask for help from an adult who can actually take action, not just someone who will nod and listen. F is for facts. Write down exactly who, what, when, and where, and definitely save that digital evidence we talked about. And E is examine the result. You have to set a check-in date to see if the plan is actually working in reality. Because let's face it, a plan without follow-up is just a piece of paper.
Now, what's really interesting here is how just a tiny shift in the words we use as parents can instantly empower a kid. Unhelpful phrases like just ignore it, toughen up, or if you tell, it's going to get worse, totally shut down communication. But swapping those out for helpful, supportive language like, I'm so glad you told me, you don't have to solve this alone, or which adult at school do you think is most likely to help, that immediately shows your child that they have a solid team right behind them.
Number 6, your 72-hour response plan.
All right, let's talk about those crucial next 72 hours. Day 1 is all about listening, without any blame, checking for immediate physical danger, and locking down that evidence. Day 2, you reach out and contact one specific school coordinator. You want to share the whole pattern, not just an isolated event, and explicitly ask for a safe place and a safe adult for your child. Then, on day 3, you confirm that entire plan in writing and set a review date. You are actively asking the school for clear, actionable steps, not just a vague, we'll keep an eye out promise.
And while that's happening at school, at home, you pair it with a short, calm 7-day family practice. So instead of reverting back to just ignore it, try asking, hey, what happened after you tried to leave today? Keep the focus entirely on whether the strategy actually worked. Practice one short response, one safe exit, and one help-seeking sentence. And keep it super brief. You don't want to force them to endlessly act out painful events. Just do a gentle nightly check. Do they feel safe today? The ultimate goal here is raising a child who knows they have choices and adults who actually take action.
To bring this all together, this idea perfectly summarizes the core philosophy of our explainer today. Safety, support, adult action, and careful follow-up must complete the plan. Look, a calm exit is great, it's one tool in the toolbox. But kids should never, ever be responsible for ending bullying entirely on their own through some kind of perfect self-control. It absolutely requires the adults in the room to step up and do their part.
So, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Are you relying on your child's perfect self-control to manage this, or are you actively building a complete safety plan? Equip them with the tools they need, step in when the pattern demands it, and build that complete plan. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this empowers you to take immediate, structured action for your child's safety. See you next time.